Hello NuPIC, this is Matt Taylor again with another tutorial on building and compiling NuPIC on OS X Yosemite. Sometimes you can't install from the binary file, which was the previous installation tutorial. Many times this is because you have a non-standard version of Python installed in your system. If you're using Homebrew Python or Anaconda Python. And sometimes it's just because pip does not recognize your platform. I haven't figured that out yet, but so this guide is for people who want to compile and build and install NuPIC from source code on their OS X machine because they can't get the binary installation working, or because they just want to know how it works and potentially contribute back to the code, in which case you'll have to do all this. So I am looking at the NuPIC GitHub repository right now, and if we scroll down to the README, past the installation, this is the binary installation instructions, down at the very bottom there's a section on building NuPIC from source that points to a wiki page on installing and building NuPIC. So on this page, down in build and installation, after you read some of these notes, it sort of tells you what you need. So we support Mac OS X. You need Python development headers. You need a compiler toolchain for C++11, and you need CMake, make, and NumPy. And you need Python 2.7, like I said. There is a guide on installing Mac OS X. I'm not sure how up to date this is, but what I'm going to do, because I've done this a bunch of times, is I'm just going to start from scratch. And so as I run into installation problems, you will watch me debugging them live. This is a fresh OS X machine. There's nothing installed on it. That is non-standard. And so I'm probably going to run into problems, and you'll see me run into problems. So I've got NuPIC checked out already right here. And so I'm going to cd into NuPIC, and we're just going to look at the README instructions on building and see what we can do. One note, first off, very important thing, is that there are two repositories. One is NuPIC and one is nupic.core. So go to github.com/numenta/nupic.core. There is a second set of installation instructions. So this is the tricky bit here. I'm looking first at NuPIC Core. NuPIC Core is a C++ program. Almost all C, a little bit of Python, and that is for the bindings. So this is a C application with Python bindings. This README has instructions on building and testing, using the command line, what you need to have installed, etc. So this is what I'm going to run through. So it says I'm going to need pip installed because it's running pip to install these requirements. So the first thing I'm going to do to install the requirements for the bindings is make sure I have pip installed. So yes, pip is installed. If you don't have pip installed, you probably want to install it with easy install, which you may have to run let me make the screen a little nicer for you. Sudo easy install pip is typically what you'll do to install pip. My pip version is 7.1.2. That is, I think, the most recent version. If you need to upgrade pip, or pip is acting funny, you can upgrade it by running pip install -- upgrade pip. But I'm not going to do that because I'm running the latest version. So what I don't have, even though I have NuPIC, is I don't have NuPIC Core checked out. So I need to grab clone URL, copy it, and from my home directory, I'm going to git clone NuPIC Core. Git requires command line developer tools. That's interesting. This is something we will need eventually anyway. I didn't realize Git needed it, so let's just hit install. These are basically development tools for OS X, like compilers. We need it for CLang, I believe, which is a C compiler that comes with Apple machines. So it's downloading. That'll be about 3 minutes. I'll speed through the parts where I'm waiting so you don't have to watch. In the meantime, I'll give myself something to drink. Okay, command line tools from Xcode has been installed, so I'll repeat the git clone command, which is now going to get the whole NuPIC core directory checked out locally, and we're going to start there. We're going to go into NuPIC core and build it before we do NuPIC. Let's take a quick preview of the NuPIC core instructions. So NuPIC core looks like an environment variable that this might want us to set up. Platform specific README, so there's some external libraries, and then there's see the main wiki for more build notes. I won't go there. So we have Python 2.7. We may or may not have NumPy. I'm not sure. We'll see if we run into that problem. PyCap and P. We'll see if we run into that too. Probably am going to have to get CMake, and I might do that with Homebrew. And Cat and P, I believe we'll have to install ourselves. So we'll run into that if there's a problem. We'll walk through it, and I'll show you how to install all that stuff. Okay, let's go into NuPIC core. See what's in here. All right, we have source directory and README, some docs, external, CI, bindings. What shall we do first? Let's first try and install the requirements and see what happens. Oops. Pip install -r. These are the Python requirements for the language bindings for Python. Getting NumPy. Permission denied. This is where you should not do sudo. Just add the --user onto the end of your command, which tells it to install into a local directory instead of a system level directory. That worked. Next, make directory, build scripts. So I don't have this NuPIC core set, so let's do that real quick. Export NuPIC core equals current directory. Make sure that works. Yes, okay. You might want to put that in your bash rc or bash profile. So I'm going to make a directory called build scripts. So there's an empty build scripts directory now. And we'll go into that directory. And then we're going to run CMake. I don't think I have CMake. No. So I don't even think I have Homebrew. I usually install CMake with Homebrew. So let's get Homebrew real quick. The easiest way to do it is to copy this and do this insane thing and copy this Ruby command into your shell. It's what everybody does. Sounds crazy, but everybody trusts the Homebrew guys, apparently. Okay, we'll probably speed through this until I get Homebrew installed, then I'll show you how to install CMake. Oh, that was quick. So brew help. First thing you generally want to do when you install Homebrew is run brew doctor. Okay, we're good. Brew, install CMake. It's getting it. This may take a little bit. Alright, now hopefully you can say CMake help. Yes, so I have CMake now on my command line. So we can get rid of this. Back to NuPIC core, and now we will run this CMake command. So what this is doing is saying run CMake on the source directory. The source directory, where are we? Down here, contains a CMake lists file. These are like the instructions for CMake. And then it's also saying the install prefix, or where we want you to install this, is into a release folder, which is down a level, which doesn't exist yet, but it will be created by CMake. This is where our release is going to get put. We may or may not run into problems here. We'll find out. All right, so we have some errors. Looks like cap and P errors. Cap and P, we have to install it ourselves. So let's do that. Cap'n Proto is what this is called. It's a serialization library. Cap'n Proto, and generally what I do is I will check it out. Where do we go? Installation Unix, installation Windows. I think we'll just do the Unix one. So yeah, let's just do this. Let's grab it. I'm gonna put it into another directory. So let's open oops. I'm gonna open another directory. I'm gonna make I usually make a folder called dev where I put my developer stuff. So I'm gonna curl and grab Cap'n Proto and dump it right into this directory. And there it is. Open Cap'n Proto, and that expanded it for us. So now I can go into that directory. And let's go back and look at the instructions. Already opened it, already CD'd, so run configure. Next is make check. I think I might have had problems with make check and Cap'n P before. Let's try it anyway. Make check. The J6 means 6 cores. I might as well use 6. I don't remember how many the system has, probably 8. So the check is a little bit of overkill. I don't think you need to run check, but it will verify that the Cap'n P installation actually does the right things. If you fail on the check, I think you can just run make, and it generally will work. And then next we'll have to sudo make install once this is done. Checking. Yay! That's a good thing. The check passed. Now we're gonna make sudo make install. Wasn't that right? Yeah. Sudo make install. This is gonna put Cap'n P in place as system location so that it's available. Okay, I hope that worked. Now, back into the nupic.core directory, we're going to run the cmake command again. And apparently it worked. So, that went so fast. It's almost unbelievable. How did that go so fast? Okay, looks like everything was good. And we should have a release directory now. No. Where am I? Scripts. Something tripped up here. Something seems a little odd. Let's. I'm gonna start fresh because I think maybe the cmake command when it hit the Cap'n P had a problem. So let's go back. There we go, to nupic.core. I'm going to blow this build directory away, and I'm going to make it again. Build scripts. I'm going to go into build scripts, and I'm going to run that cmake command again from scratch. There we go. So sort of making sure that it was done completely. And let's take a look at what our directories look like. So there's a build, and there's a scripts, and there's a bunch of stuff in here now. But I don't see a release anywhere. Maybe we haven't gotten to that part yet. So it says the CMake install prefix is optional, specifies where it should be installed. I haven't done make yet, that's why. Okay, so I have this, while I'm still sitting, I'm not a C person, so you have to excuse my ignorance when it comes to this, but hopefully I'm helping you, other people who are not C people. So the command I want to run is make J3. I'm going to do J6 so I can take advantage of all my cores. Here we go. Building all those Cap P stuff, and now we're in all of the NuPIC core stuff. So we are building C++ right now. Hooray. Okay, so we just made it. Now we're going to run make install from the same location. This is going to install it wherever we told it to install when we specified this CMake install prefix. So it should put it in that release folder that's one level down or up, depending on your perspective in the file system. Let's put it all into that release directory, as you can see here. And now we should totally see, yes, a release directory with bin include and lib. That's what we want to see. That is the standard structure of a Linux project. So it is currently installed in that location that we told it. If we did not give it this dcmake install prefix, it would install it into a system location. That may not be what you want, but it may be. It depends on how you want to use it. I typically don't install it to a system location, but when we get to installing NuPIC, or going to the next step, you need to know where that was. So we did the make install. Now we're going to run some tests. So we're still in the build scripts file or directory. So we'll make the test CPP region. All tests passed. Make tests unit. This takes a little bit longer. All these errors are actual errors that it expects to get. So as long as it says pass at the end, it's good. So tests passed. So now we're going to go back into NuPIC core and we're going to install NuPIC bindings. Okay, so currently we have a C++ project installed in that release directory, but we don't have a way for Python to call into that C project. The NuPIC bindings project is a Python project that provides language bindings from that NuPIC core C++ project into Python. That's what we'll need when we install NuPIC. The bindings has to be there so that NuPIC can call into NuPIC core. So back to NuPIC core and Python setup install, and we're going to tell it the NuPIC core directory that we installed NuPIC core is that build release directory. So this is exactly the right instruction to use. And now we get a failure. So let's see what's up here. It looks like numpy version, was it to build NuPIC core bindings in OS X, you must export arch flags, arch whatever. Yeah, so that's absolutely true. Something I neglected to do, and I think that's stated right here. So this is the command I'm going to run on OS X because this architecture flag must be set. So let's do that. And must provide a release directory, of course. This is because I forgot to add this bit. Alright. So at the end, I'm going to add that NuPIC core. So my full command is arch flag, and you can just export this and leave it in your bash RC or whatever. But this is for this command, this environment variable is going to be set. Python setup install needs it. And we also need to specify where NuPIC core release is. And here we go. We are building Swig Python language bindings on top of NuPIC core right now. Okay, looking good so far. In addition, you can use this develop We have just recently started working on putting together, if you look at the NuPIC Wiki, not the NuPIC Core Wiki, putting together some developer guides, Numenta developer setup. This is brand new. We just had a discussion about this yesterday. So there is a wiki page called Numenta Developer Setup, and this is how all Numenta engineers working on building and running NuPIC are going to set up their machines. So there's much more specific instructions here on exactly how we do things, if you find that useful, and especially if you plan on becoming a contributor to the NuPIC project, this would be a great document to take a look at. But there's much more details than we need just to get NuPIC running on your system. All right, we got a permission denied error. That typically means we just need to add the user flag, --user, because we are running a pip command, or a setup command. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, because I think user is a pip flag, and I'm running Python setup, I'm not sure. But let's take a look at the wiki, the README again, see if it says anything about this. Okay. Now, so it's got, it says here I can use the user command. Let's see if it works. Lots of warnings. A lot of those come from external libraries. Almost all of them do, because we're compiling them using our own configuration. And they may not adhere to our standards of our compiler settings. All right, this is good. This looks like NuPIC bindings was installed, version 0.2.1. We should be able to now go into our Python interpreter, import nupic.bindings without error, which is good. Okay, we have now NuPIC core installed in that release directory inside of builds release. That's, build release. This is where NuPIC core is installed. And we also have NuPIC bindings installed as a Python module that binds to that NuPIC core installation. All right, so now we're going to go to NuPIC, down one and into NuPIC. So this is my NuPIC directory, and so we can talk about that now, where so the compilation instructions, I think all we need to do to install NuPIC at this point is simply run python setup.py install -- user, because NuPIC bindings is installed and ready for it to use, and the hard part's basically done. NuPIC is a pure Python project at this point, so there should be no complications installing NuPIC now that NuPIC core and NuPIC bindings are installed. Looks good. So now we have the latest source code for NuPIC core and for NuPIC installed on our system. NuPIC core is installed in that release directory under build release in the NuPIC core repository. NuPIC bindings is installed as a pip or a Python module that binds to that installation. And NuPIC has been installed as well through setup tools as a Python module that depends upon NuPIC bindings. So now is the time to run some tests and figure out if everything is working. We have a bunch of tests in the tests directory. Where am I? Tests directory. We've got unit integration, swarming, regression, etc. And we also have scripts that will run these tests in the scripts directory. So I'm going to run the scripts directory. This requires that you have PyTest installed on your system. In a previous installation tutorial, I forced an install with sudo, which wasn't the right thing to do. pi.test is the command line variable, the command line executable I should be calling. And that gets installed somewhere, wherever you install your Python packages on your system. Mine goes here. I just had to add this folder to my path so that I could run pi.test like this. The scripts in the scripts directory that run tests depend on calling out to pi.test. So when you run this, run nupic tests-u, you must have pi.test installed. And all these tests should either pass or be skipped. Oh, good. So all of our tests passed, which is a very good thing. So now let's run some examples. I'm going to go into the examples directory, OPF, clients, hotgem, simple, and let's try and run that. There's a file in here called hotgem. This will create a new NuPIC model and start passing real data into it, and output the average error over time to the screen. So as long as you see it doing something like this, it's working. So that's good. And let's go into the one-gem prediction one and run a swarm real quick. You will have to install MySQL to run the swarm. The way I installed MySQL was with Homebrew. You can go download MySQL and compile it and install it yourself, or I think you can also get it on the App Store or something like that. My MySQL starts by running MySQL server start, which it's already running. So now I should be able to just run this swarm command, and this should work. This will run for quite a while. There's no need for us to run through it the entire way, but if you want to run swarms, you have to have MySQL running. Kill all the Python processes the swarm started. So that's about it. So I hope that helped you. A couple of gotchas if you made it this far and you had some problems at some step, somewhere along the way. If you run into problems, a couple of things I always do. I'll just show you. If I want to start over from scratch, I'll run pip uninstall nupic, and the -y means yes, I'm serious, and I'll run that several times until it says it's not installed. Same thing with bindings. Uninstall bindings. Now I have nothing installed at all, so I have to go back into NuPIC core and then run the command to install it again to run the bindings, which is, I don't know, it was that long. Arch flags equals Python setup install -- user -- NuPIC core dir equals blah blah blah. So you run that, and then you go back into NuPIC and run the Python setup install there. So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing you can do that I've found is if you go into NuPIC and you can't run tests for some reason, or when you run the test script, there's some weird failures, clean out the tests directory. As you can see, some of the tests leave some junk in here. I really wish they didn't. And even in if you do a git status, sometimes you can see there's extra stuff. Here's the stuff left over from the swarm that I ran. One command that will clean up everything is git clean dfx. This will blow away everything that's not in source control. So be wary if you've added something and you haven't committed it, and you're planning on committing it or working on something, it will blow it away. But you can see all the junk that gets removed here, a bunch of PYC files from tests and stuff. If these are old or halfway generated, or your tests might not run properly. So removing them by running git clean dfx will get rid of all that stuff, and then you'll have to reinstall NuPIC again, Python setup install, I think. But that's a really quick step, and then you can run your tests again and everything should work. So those are a couple of troubleshooting hints, if hopefully that helps. And if you're still having problems getting NuPIC core, NuPIC bindings, NuPIC compiling and running on your system, please email the mailing list or jump onto our Gitter chat room. I'm usually in there, and I'll try and help you as well as I can. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps you guys get running on NuPIC. So let me know. Thank you.